God is building something bigger than you. Wagwan, Onado, my unpopular opinion comes from 1 Chronicles 1 to 29 and Psalm 65 to 70. What if I told you that some of the most important things God will do through your life, you may never personally get to see completed? That's one of the biggest lessons in 1 Chronicles. David had the vision for the temple. He gathered the resources. He made preparations. He organized the people. But God told him, you will not be the one to build it. Solomon would. And yet, David didn't become bitter because someone else would finish what was in his heart. He prepared anyway. That's maturity. Because sometimes your assignment isn't to finish the building. Sometimes your assignment is to prepare the foundation. And when we bring Psalm 65 to 70 alongside 1 Chronicles, we see something even greater. The God who called David is the same God who provides, who delivers, who strengthens, and remains faithful from generation to generation. Your story didn't start with you, my friends. 1 Chronicles 1 to 9. Let's be honest. The first 9 chapters of 1 Chronicles can feel like an endless list of names, generation after generation, family after family. But don't skip the message hidden inside the genealogy. God remembers people. These names show us that God was working through generations before David even or ever appeared. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Judah, the tribes of Israel, priests, Levites, families, kings, ordinary people whose names we might struggle to pronounce, but God remembered every one of them. That means your life isn't an isolated moment. You are standing in a story bigger than yourself. And some of the prayers you pray today may become blessings somebody else experiences tomorrow. God thinks generationally. God cares more about his presence than your position. 1 Chronicles 10 to 16. Saul had a position. He had a crown. He had authority. But he became unfaithful to God. David, however, understood something Saul lost. The presence of God mattered more than the throne. That's why bringing the Ark of the Covenant of Jerusalem was so significant. David celebrated. He worshipped. He appointed musicians. He gave thanks. Because David understood success without God's presence is empty. You can get the promotion, build a business, grow the platform, buy the house, achieve everything you prayed for, and still miss the most important thing. Don't become so confused. Don't become so focused on what God can give you that you stop pursuing God himself. God may say no to your plan without saying no to your purpose. 1 Chronicles 17 to 22. David wanted to build God a temple. It sounded like a beautiful spiritual idea, but God said David wouldn't build it. Now imagine that. You love God. You have the resources. You have the vision. You're willing to work, and God still says, not you. Some of us would have walked away offended, but David teaches us something powerful. A closed door doesn't always mean rejection. Sometimes it means redirection. David couldn't build a temple, so he prepared for it. He gathered gold, silver, bronze, iron, wood, stone, workers, plans, everything Solomon would need. David essentially said, if I can't build it, I'll make sure the person God chose has everything necessary to succeed. That is kingdom maturity. Stop measuring your significance only by what has your name on it, my friends. Sometimes your greatest contribution will be preparing somebody else to accomplish what God showed you. What you build, God reveals what has your heart. 1 Chronicles 23 to 29. Near the end of David's life, he prepares Solomon and Israel for the temple, and David gives generously from his own resources. Then the leaders give, then the people give, and David prays one of the most powerful prayers in Chronicles. He acknowledges that everything already belongs to God. In other words, God, we're not really giving you something that was ours. We're returning what came from you. Your time belongs to Him. Your gifts belongs to Him. Your resources belongs to Him. Your opportunities belongs to Him. Even your next breath is a gift. That changes the question from God. How much do I have to give you? To God, how much of what you've given me can I use for your glory? The God who calls you is also the God who sustains you. Psalm 65 to 70. Psalm 65 to 70 reminds us who this God actually is. Psalm 65 shows us that the God who hears prayers and provides abundantly. Psalm 66 says, "Come and see what God has done." Psalm 67 asks God to bless His people so His ways will be known throughout the earth. Psalm 68 celebrates a God who fights for His people and cares for the vulnerable. Psalm 69 shows David crying out from deep distress. And Psalm 70 gives us the desperate prayer. Asking, "O God, to save me." Notice the progression. Sometimes you're praising. Sometimes you're celebrating. Sometimes you're waiting. Sometimes you're hurting. And sometimes all you can pray is, "God, help me." And God is present in every one of those seasons. You don't have to sound powerful for your prayer to be powerful. Sometimes, "Lord, help me" is enough. So, my friends, what do 1 Chronicles 1 to 29 and Psalm 65 to 70 teach us? Your story didn't start with you. Your position is worthless without God's presence. God's no can still serve His greater purpose. Everything you possess ultimately comes from Him. And the God who called you is faithful. And the God who called you is faithful enough to sustain you. David eventually died. Solomon became king. The temple would be built by another generation. But David's faithfulness still matured. And yours does too. Maybe you're building something right now that you won't fully understand for years. Maybe you're praying prayers whose answer will outlive you. Maybe God has redirected a dream you thought was supposedly to happen differently. Stay faithful, my friends, because your assignment doesn't have to look the way you imagine for your obedience to matter. You may be painting what someone else will harvest. You may be preparing what someone else will build. You may be praying what another generation will live. But if God gave you the assignment, your faithfulness is never wasted. So my friends, stop asking God only to make your name great. Ask Him to make your life useful for something greater than your name. And that's my unpopular opinion.